from beautiful Oaklawn Hot Springs, Arkansas. What began in 2019 with just 3 states, Texas, Alabama, and Arkansas, has grown into a truly national celebration. The High School Broyles Award now reaches across more than 40 states, honoring the very best high school assistant coaches in America. These coaches carry the legacy of legendary Arkansas coach Frank Broyles, whose belief in the power of great assistant coaches transformed the game. His vision continues to inspire us as we recognize the mentors, the builders of young men, and the quiet architects behind every successful program. Tonight, we celebrate their excellence, their dedication, and the lasting impact they make both on and off the field. And now, please welcome your MC for the 6th Annual High School Broyles Award Ring Ceremony, Kyle Deckelbaum.
All right, we're going to get started. I know the folks in the room still eating. Enjoy that ice cream, but we're going to get going, and we're going to begin with this. All of our winners in the room, there are 33 of them. Please stand up. We'll give you the biggest round of applause to begin the night. Congratulations. Well, this is the energy we're going to keep all night. I tell you, we have winners in this room from Washington State to New York. Truly the best of the best high school football coaches, assistants in America. Here's the really special part that I think is neat about tonight. How many winners tonight coach another sport? Raise your hand. A good amount. How many teach? How many drive a bus? How many have a full-time job or a second job in addition to being an assistant coach? That's pretty cool, right? Coach Broyles gets it. If you were here last night, you know the story. He could have considered names like Jimmy Johnson, Barry Switzer, Joe Gibbs, Johnny Majors, and Hayden Fry to be depicted on his namesake trophy. And he could have picked any one of his former assistants who won a combined 6 Super Bowls, 5 national championships, and 40 conference titles. He picked Wilson Matthews, who was a legendary Arkansas high school coach at historic Little Rock Central High, a guy who won 10 titles in 11 years. He didn't lose a game in the state for 6 seasons. Joins Coach Broyles at Arkansas in 1958, and I think all the indication we need of Coach Broyles' belief and respect in each of you for what you do, which is really, really cool. By the way, we have the Matthews family here. Coach Matthews' son, Bruce, his wife, Tanya, is here. If you'll stand up, it is great to have you here. Great to have you here and be a part of tonight. Yeah, I've been really lucky. I've been involved with the Broyles Award for, I think it's 14 years now, and it started when I was a sportscaster here in Arkansas. And so I tell you, when you're a sportscaster, I promise I've spent those early mornings, those late nights in the offices, hanging with coaches, with all of you, seeing the long hours that you put in, oftentimes the antiquated facilities. Not all facilities, by the way. A few of you have some of the nicest facilities, nicer than colleges, but lots of times those older facilities, the slow computers trying to load huddle, and I know that is oftentimes the best part of your day. There's the grass to mow, the field to line, the schedule to coordinate, the laundry to finish, not to mention the daily headaches that come with coaching kids in today's era. And it's not just you. It is your entire family that makes sacrifices, missing holidays, supporting the players that become an extended part of your family. And I know our winning coaches tonight would agree with that sentiment. You have to love what you do. You have to believe in the difference you make. And on behalf of all of us at the Broyles Award, you are doing just that. Thank you for what you do. And so tonight is all about celebrating you. And believe me when I say, once you are a Broyles Award winner, you are a part of the Broyles Award family forever. And so with open arms, welcome, congratulations, and welcome to the Broyles Award family. Think about the growth that we've had. We had 3 winners our first year in 2018, 6 in 2021, 12 in 2022, 21 in 2023, 38 last year. Here we are cracking the 40 mark for 2025 with even more to come next year. I remember we started in a really small room, and so to evolve into this on the heels of last night's ceremony is something really, really special. And this would not be possible without our incredible sponsors. First and foremost, our presenting sponsor, Field Turf, Brandon Parrott, and I'll invite you to make your way up here. Thank you, Brandon, VP Jamie McDonald and his team. Play On and Go Fan, Amanda Williford and the rest of the team, they provided the welcome reception and the day at the races today. Who, by the way, who was the biggest winner at the races today? There had to be somebody. I think Wayne Smith down here is looking around, see who it was. Victory Rings, Matt Hall. You may have a jewelry provider, but a reminder, tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Guys, if you're in a bind, he's your guy. He's right here. Peter Como, BSN Sports, thank you for the swag bag. Rockstar Passes, Brad Rickett and his team, with that commemorative lanyards, the luggage tags, and Box Out Sports, Thomas Fredrickson, for all the graphics. Let's hear it for our sponsors and for everything they do. It truly would not be possible without them. With that, I want to invite Brandon Parrott from Field Turf to come on up. Brandon. Great to see you, my man.
Wow, what a room. I remember that small room that we started in, and 4 coaches, and close and intimate, and now we see the power in the numbers and how this has grown. On behalf of Field Turf and our employees worldwide, it is our privilege and our honor to be the presenting sponsor of the Broyles Award. I want to say congratulations to the 42 coaches that are being honored this evening. As presenting sponsor of the Broyles Award over the past 5 years, we've seen the tremendous impact that this award has on coaches and their families. Thank you to Molly, Clayton, Betsy. Coach Broyles would be so proud of the way that you've honored him and continued his legacy forward through this award and through the foundation. Coach McGuire, thank you for championing high school coaches, and you've showed that by being here this evening, and so we want to thank you for that. The role of the assistant coach is so important in our world. In a world that clamors for the spotlight, that puts me before team, assistant coaches are what we all should be. The person that works on behalf of others, that serves others, that stands just outside of that spotlight to make sure that the guy that's in it looks really, really good. So tonight, jump into the spotlight. Let us put the spotlight on you. Let us honor you for your hard work, your effort, and your dedication. And if there's one thing that we could do at Field Turf, let us be an assistant coach for you. If there's anything that we can do to support you, support your team, support your community, and show our commitment to your student athletes, we would love that opportunity. So please allow us to come alongside you and serve you in the manner you serve others. So thank you very much. And again, coaches, congratulations. It's well deserved.
Great message, and I can't reiterate that enough. Truly, take pictures tonight. Cheer loudly when we get to the ring ceremony. Take everything in tonight because it is so well deserved. There is one other person I want to welcome, by the way, Josh Pate. Great to have you for a second night here. The self-proclaimed commissioner, good to have you with us as well. We are honored to have the head coach of one of the best stories in college football this season join us tonight and this weekend here at Oaklawn. Preseason, you'd find Texas Tech buried in the top 25, but over the course of the season, think how they emerged as an absolute force in the Big 12, allowing a stifling 11.8 points per game. The best part, he is a high school coach at heart, and he really, getting to know him just a little bit, is one of the absolute good guys in the sport. So let's meet and then welcome Joey McGuire.
When Joey McGuire was hired at Texas Tech, he had never even called a play at the college level. You're looking at a Texas high school coach for more than 20 years. An out-of-nowhere story. He turned a relatively unknown school in the Dallas area into a dynasty. After the 2016 season, Matt Rule hired him at Baylor as tight ends coach, and it was nothing short of a surprise when Texas Tech hired him 4 years later to coach the Red Raiders.
You know how you show them? By the way you play.
The result?
And everything runs through Lubbock today for a top 10 showdown for the biggest game in a generation.
A year for the ages. An 11-1 regular season, the program's first Big 12 title, and the number 4 seed in the college football playoff. Sure, that West Texas oil helps, but as any coach can attest, talent doesn't always translate into wins. Think how many other programs with resources look toward Lubbock this season with absolute jealousy. The chemistry, the buy-in, the strategy, that's a high school coach at heart. Please welcome the head coach of the Texas Tech Red Raiders, Joey McGuire.
Man, that was awesome. Whenever they sent me that video, I sent it to my wife and my son and daughter, and I said, your dad and your husband's pretty cool, because that was the elite video, and it was so cool. I want to start off by saying, how lucky are we? You know, that's something that at Texas Tech we talk about all the time, is how lucky are we? And it's not a question, it's a statement. Like, if you think about this, how lucky are we? We get to do this. Like, we get to affect people's life at an entirely different level. I mean, I know that there's pastors that pastor church that wish they had the impact that coaches have the impact on a daily basis. The amount of people that we get to affect in our career is absolutely incredible. So I want to say it again. How lucky are we to get to do what we get to do? And I think that's absolutely incredible. I've been doing it for going on 32 years now, and I have not worked a day in my life. And so I'm just so lucky to be where I'm at. I want to start off, before I start talking about different things in my life, I would love, and we do this every time, any event that I talk to, the real heroes, if the coaches' wives would please stand up, and so we could give you a round of applause. Debbie, Bernadette, please. Thank y'all. You know, you got cool husbands, but I'm going to tell you right now, because of you, we get to be who we are. You know, there's a couple times tonight I may get emotional. You guys are my heroes. I am a coach because of 2 assistant coaches, Tom McCone and Harris Brownlee. I have been so blessed in my life. My mom and dad are both still alive. My dad has missed 3 games I've ever coached or played in my entire life. And I still say that Harris Brownlee had one of the biggest impacts of my life. Assistant coach, offensive line coach. I know y'all can tell I was a good offensive lineman. All district guard, you know, ran the split back veer, guys, so you didn't have to be that big. But that guy was my hero. He's the reason that I'm a coach. I got to tell him that this year. We were recruiting a kid out of Mount Pleasant. We got him, big defensive tackle. And I was able to go to his classroom and stand in front of his students that he's still teaching and say, this guy is the reason I am who I am. Because of Harris Brownlee, I'm standing in front of you as the head coach of Texas Tech. So I just want to thank the wives, because my wife is a rock star, and she really does. Like, we have 2 great kids, and they're incredible, but she allows me to be the person I am. I feel bad sometimes, because sometimes she says to me, man, I wished I got the Joey McGuire that your players got. And I come home sometimes so exhausted, because I'm an energy guy. I want to make sure that they get the same dude every single day. I want to make sure when they walk in that building that they know how fired up I am. I always tell my players they're the Duracell bunny. I mean, the Duracell battery, and I'm the Energizer bunny, and they're the thing that gets me going. But I'm lucky because I do have such a strong wife, and I know that you guys do too. You know, Andre Ware, when I got the job our first season in 2022, Andre Ware, we're getting ready to play in Lane Kiffin. He's at Ole Miss. We're playing at the Texas Bowl. And Andre Ware asked me, you know, he knew he's at Texas. He played at Dickinson High School and played at Houston. And he's talking to me about Texas high school football. And I told him, I made this statement. I said, man, I'm a high school coach that gets to coach college football. I've coached for 31 years, going on 32. I was a high school coach for 23 years. And we beat Ole Miss, beat the hell out of them, by the way. But we beat Ole Miss, and after the game was over, I was listening to some stuff that Andre said, and he said, well, maybe now Coach McGuire can think of himself as a college coach. And I'm telling you, I don't. My DNA is high school coaching. My DNA was Gerald Jack, my high school coach, and Harris Brownlee. My DNA is Robert Wood, who's in the High School Hall of Honor. That's my DNA. And the 9 years that I worked for that man, I learned so much. I've never seen a coach that could see all 22 every single play. He taught me that if you don't hurry up to get to your position, then he's going to coach them before you get there, and then he's going to be pissed off whenever you come into the office because you didn't get to that position fast enough to coach. So early in my career, I learned to sprint to my position to coach him on that play, because if I didn't, Coach Woods was going to be there before me. I've never seen anything like it. But I was working with guys like that. So my 23 years of high school coaching, I've been an assistant coach for 14 years. Whenever I got hired by Coach Rule at Baylor, and he spoke last year, an absolutely incredible man. He's one reason I'm at Texas Tech, being an assistant for him. 3 months into the job, he said, man, you're supposed to be a head coach. And I said, well, I know, Coach, I was a head coach for 14 years. And he said, no, at this level, let me help you. Let me teach you what you don't know. And having a guy like that to mentor me helped me where I'm at. But he called me on a Friday, and he said, hey, Coach, I've heard a lot about you. I'm the head coach at Cedar Hill, right out at South Dallas. And he said, I've heard a lot about you. I'd love to interview you. And I said, well, Coach, can we do it on Sunday or Monday? Because I have this deal with one of my really good friends. His name's Dave Martin. And whoever gets knocked out of the playoffs first has to cross the Red River. He either comes to Dallas to watch us play, or I go to Oklahoma to watch him play. And he was playing for a state championship on a Friday night in 2016, won it, by the way. First time that school's ever won a state championship. But I said, can we wait and can we meet on Sunday? We met at an IHOP in Hillsboro. That was between Dallas and Waco. And I'll never forget, we're sitting there, and he's asking me this question and that question. And his last question was, can you be an assistant coach again? You've been a head coach for 14 years. You've run your program. You have your ideas. I think our ideas match up. But can you be an assistant coach again? I said, Coach Rule, I have an AD. I do exactly what she tells me to do whenever she tells me to do it. I said, I have a superintendent. I do exactly what he tells me to do when he tells me to do it. And I have a wife. And she's not going to agree to this, but I do exactly what she tells me to do when she tells me to do it. I said, I promise you that I can be a good assistant. And the Robert Woods, who was my high school head coach whenever I was assistant for 9 years, and then Matt Rule, when I was assistant at Baylor, they changed my life. They poured into me. Without those guys, I wouldn't be here. So I feel like I was a really good assistant. The other thing that I feel like that's really cool about high school coaches, and I challenge every college coach to do this. And college coaches don't do this because they've never been a high school coach. And you'll understand exactly what I mean when I say this. So I get the job at Texas Tech. I'm in the office. I'm working. We're trying to put a recruiting class together. And Zane Perry, my equipment guy, comes in. He rolls in this big, like hanging, there's clothes everywhere. He's giving me all this tech gear. And so I heard that he was a really great equipment guy. So he comes in and he's giving me all this. And I'm like, man, this is awesome, Zane. I appreciate this. I've heard all about you. I heard you do a great job. His assistant came in, and they're both talking. And I said, I will make one promise to y'all without a doubt. Texas Tech will never wear white pants on real grass. And if you watch us, we never wear white pants on real grass. Let me tell you why. Because as an assistant, I was the equipment guy for 9 years, and I had to soak those damn pants. And I had to soak those jerseys. I did the laundry, guys. I did the laundry when I was a head coach, but I soaked those pants, and I said, I'll tell you what. He looked at me, he goes, Joey, I'll do anything you ever asked me to do. And he has. He's followed that up. So I challenge whenever you guys go to your state and these college guys come in to recruit you, you know, I mean, my guy over here wins the Broyles Award, Indiana, you know, let's see if they wear white pants on real grass. If they do, you know, man, they ain't never been a high school coach. They don't care about that. I'm just messing with you. The way y'all played this year, hell, I'd wear white pants on real grass to go 16-0. No doubt. But where that came from, I meant that to him because I have been that guy just like you. I've driven a yellow dog. I've loaded guys up on a bus. I had a young man come to practice this year, Josh Trimble. He's a very successful businessman in Oklahoma. And he stood in front of our defensive line, and he said, this man right here changed my life. He did not. His dad had passed away. He had every excuse in the world not to come to workouts. I picked him up every morning at 6 a.m. because he had to work in the afternoon after football was over. He had to work in the afternoon to help his mom. And he would say, Coach, I don't have time. I said, yeah, you got time. You're just going to have to get up. And I picked him up every morning at 6 a.m. I had like a little service. I'd run through all these neighborhoods. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about because every one of you do it. I ran through these neighborhoods. I'd pick these kids up in my truck. And we'd go in there and we'd lift because the one thing at Cedar Hill, there ain't no excuses, man. Like you were going to lift. You were either going to be in the weight room in the morning, you're going to be in the weight room in the afternoon. And if you said, well, Coach, I got to work in the afternoon, okay, then I'll pick you up in the morning. Be sitting out in front. That's what you guys do, man. You guys have changed so many lives, and I cannot thank you enough. You know, I talked about Coach Brownlee and Coach McCone. I listened to Sam Harrell. He's one of the great high school coaches in the state of Texas. He's a great offensive mind. I probably would challenge a lot of people that he was the guy that he was running RPOs before anybody knew what an RPO was. Really, if you go back in the mid-90s, 98, and I know he got it from somebody, but nobody was doing it. But I'll never forget, we were talking one day, and he said, so many people miss what X's and O's mean. All you guys out here, you are O's. What does that look like? You're an incredible coach that a young man is going to sit back in his life and he starts thinking about who affected his life in a positive way and a negative way. And the guys that affected their lives in a negative way, they put an X through their name. And the great thing about you guys is they're circling your name. You're that O. You're that guy that affected that young man, that he became a great father because of you. He became a great husband because of you. A couple years ago, I was driving to coaching school, Texas High School coaching school. We've got we've got our director and our executive director out there, Joe Martin and Glenn West. I'm driving to coaching school, and I have a young man call me, played for me in 2012, and he said, Coach, you'd be so proud of me. I've got a full-time job. I have an apartment. I'm doing so well. You'd be so proud of me. That's who you are. You're the guys that they circle. You're the guys like Harris Brownlee and Tom McCone that make an impact every single day. You know, the one thing one of my mentors, D.W. Rutledge, I didn't play for him. I didn't coach with him. I got lucky enough to be chosen to be on the board of directors, regional directors in Texas high school football. And he retired, Joe took over. And he told me, and he said it a million times, but he told me in 2014 I had the opportunity to go to the University of Texas. And I went and spoke with him. I sat down with him and I said, hey, Coach, I've got an opportunity to go to the University of Texas. My son was going to be a junior in high school. He coached his son. And I said, Coach, should I take that job? Would you take that job or would you coach Clint? And he said, I would not trade any amount of money in this world to not coach my son. Well, I love that man. And so I said, well, that makes my decision. I called Charlie Strong and I said, Charlie Strong, give the job to Jeff Traylor. I'm out. I want to coach my son. How I fell in love with D.W. Rutledge is listening to him say these words, and this is what I want to encourage you. I want to end with this, and I want to encourage you with this. In the world that we live in today, you are needed now more than ever. Coach Rutledge would say that we are the guys that stand in the gap. I coached 20 years in South Dallas. The majority of my kids came from single-parent families. I think one reason we're really good in recruiting is I took a lot of unofficial visits all across the nation because that was the only way my guys were going to get there because their mom had to work. And what I want to encourage you is stand in the gap. I hope you work for a head coach that allows your families to come to practice. But if you're an assistant coach and you're going to be a head coach, allow your families to come to practice. If you come to Texas Tech on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, at the end of that practice when that horn sounds, you're going to see every kid run into their dads, unless they run to their Uncle JoJo. Most of them will run at some point to their Uncle JoJo, because that's me. Why do we do that? Why do we do that? Because I want to stand in the gap, because there's so many young men that don't know what a dad looks like. They don't know what a husband looks like, how you're going to talk to different, like either your kid or you're going to talk to your wife. That's why it's so important. You come to Texas Tech, you go in there. I got this from Andy Evans. He was the head coach in Tatum, Texas. You go into our barber shop. It's called the Uncommon Man. On the side, it says the Uncommon Man, but I sold this from Oklahoma State. You know, we steal everything from anybody. We're coaches. And it talks about how do you talk to people. If you come to Texas Tech, you're going to hear our players say, yes, sir. You're going to hear our players say, no, sir. You're going to hear our players say, thank you. There's a way to talk to people. I'm trying to stand in the gap. Sheil Wood is trying to stand in the gap to make sure that these young men grow up to not only be great football players, because that's what we're trying to train them to do, but we want to be great men. And I'm going to tell you right now, the better the man, the better the player. The better the man, the better the player. And so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to stand in that gap. I'm preaching to the choir. You would not be here if you weren't already standing in that gap. And so I want to encourage you to stand in that gap. Now, I see a lot of you guys out here. We got some young coaches out here, but we also got a lot of guys that don't have any hair. It's okay, mine's going. And we got a lot of guys that have gray hair. That means that you're seasoned and you're experienced. And not only do I want to challenge you to stand in that gap, but I want to challenge you to bring some of these young coaches with you, to get them to understand that the X's and O's are not all football, But the X's and O's are how you're going to affect those kids. End it with two more things. At Texas Tech, we talk about it all the time. I expect the football to be right because that's what you love to do. I mean, y'all would get on the whiteboard and do it all day long. So I expect the football to be right. What I want to be right is our culture. I want the relationships in our building to be right. And so that's what our challenge for me to my coaches is, how close can you get to that young man and affect their life? And then I'm going to end it with this, the way I started. How lucky are we? How lucky are we to get to do what we do? Because coaching is a calling. And you have been called to change people's lives. Guess what? If you win games, you get to change a lot more lives in the community you're in because they keep you a lot longer. But how lucky are we? Thank y'all so much. You guys are absolutely my heroes. We're open to 3 groups. Got a really good linebackers mom and dad out there from the state of Georgia. You'll never have to not miss a practice at Texas Tech. I never close practice to parents. So if you want to see your son play and practice, then come to Texas Tech. But I never close practice to parents. I never close practice to boosters because I want to build a network. I've got 2 guys before the season was over. They had already signed contracts to go to work for some of our boosters. And I never close practice to coaches. And we're not going to stick you in some room and just let you watch film. You can be in my staff meetings. You can be in our team meetings. You can be in our unit meetings. Everything we do, we're open for you guys. So if you want to see the best facility in the country, come to Texas Tech. You want to eat a great steak in Las Brisas? We got you. Our clinic is April 3rd and 4th. We're not going to feed you pizza. We got these guys called the Texas Landmen. We're going to do steaks and chicken for you, baked potatoes. You can come hang out and learn some great football and share some great football. It is a great day to be a Red Raider. It's a great day to be a coach. Wreck 'em.
Coach, I think there's going to be a room full of people here coming for that steak and chicken in West Texas. Thank you. That was fantastic. All right, it is time to transition to our ring ceremony. We have a video we're going to play, and what I think you're going to see very quickly is just how much talent is in this room. So let's meet our 2026 High School Broyles Award winners.
Representing Alabama, he engineered the top defense in Class 7A, allowing just over 8 points and 200 yards per game, racking up 25 sacks, 73 tackles for loss, and 21 takeaways. Hewitt-Trussville defensive coordinator, Sean Tausma. From Arizona, his unit allowed just 6.5 points per game, tallying 14 forced fumbles, 17 interceptions, and 36 sacks, resulting in a state championship and 14-0 season for the Thunderbirds. Micah Mountain, defensive coordinator, Brett Darling. From Arkansas, despite losing 10 starters, including 5 All-State players, his defense forced 3 turnovers per game, holding conference opponents under 17 points per game. And he produced 5 new All-State performers. Fayetteville, co-defensive coordinator, Derek Davis. From Colorado, his D-line ranked among the best in the state in tackles, hurries, tackles for loss, and sacks. One of the most consistent units in 5A. Fountain Fort Carson defensive line coach, Gary Cruz. From Delaware, he pioneered a prolific offense, rushing for nearly 2,600 yards and throwing for another 1,500 with a freshman quarterback, a state champion Howard offensive coordinator Rasan Matthews Sr. From Florida, he's led one of the state's most consistent units since 2006, reaching 8 Final Fours and 2 state title games. Florida State University School assistant coach Julius Harley. From Georgia, his offensive line paved the way for over 3,500 rushing yards en route to a state runner-up finish. 4 of his 5 starters received all-region recognition to Broyles State. Jefferson assistant coach Michael Brown. From Illinois, his offensive lines have simply dominated for more than a decade. 9 state championships and 1 runner-up finish since 2010. 23 years with the Rockets. Rochester offensive line coach Derek Nelson. From Indiana, working for his dad, he was the architect of nearly 4,000 total yards, and the Tigers rode that record-setting offense to their first regional and semi-state titles. Warsaw offensive coordinator Michael Curtis. From Iowa, his offense led the state in scoring, 41 points per game, and yards, 510. They were the #1 passing offense, #3 rushing offense, and boasted 2 1,000-yard running backs and a receiver that broke multiple school records. Liberty offensive coordinator Mitch Whelan. From Kansas, how's this for a football mind? He led the Trailblazers to their first 6A state title as defensive coordinator and was named Large Class Assistant Coach of the Year. The next season, as offensive coordinator, the Trailblazers repeated as state champs, and he was named Large Class Assistant Coach of the Year. Gardner Edgerton, offensive coordinator, Brian McCall. From Kentucky, he began his coaching career in 1973. 53 years later, he's a Broyles Award winner. Cooper, offensive line coach, Bob Burnett. From Louisiana, thanks to one of the most dominant defensive runs in state history, his unit helped lead the program to its first state championship since 1966. A former D1 player himself, Central defensive coordinator Anthony Camp. From Michigan, a state Hall of Famer with 3 decades of dedication and success. Zeeland West defensive coordinator Greg Hoagland. From Minnesota, 10 straight section titles, 3 title game appearances, a state championship, and a 118-24 record over his 12 years. Barnesville offensive coordinator Phil Trowbridge. From Mississippi, his linebacker unit anchored a playoff run to the state semifinals, with all 4 starters earning all state honors. Starkville linebackers coach Tate Fisher. From Missouri, his young defense developed over the course of the season and helped avenge 2 regular season losses to top 5 teams, advancing to the state semis for the first time since 1997. With 4 Division I and 6 Division II players, Liberty defensive coordinator Brian Van Howen. From Montana, how about this devotion to the sport over a career that spans 4 decades? He drives daily from coaching Carroll College, where he's appeared in 8 national championship games, to high school, where he's coached in 2. Helena Capital offensive line coach Jim Hogan. From Nebraska, the Vikings allowed the fewest number of total yards per game in school history and tallied 27 takeaways en route to an 11-1 season. Columbus Lakeview defensive coordinator Jeff Bargan. From New Jersey, his 22 years as a varsity coach provided a sense of consistency to a program in need of a steady hand and helped the Braves return to the postseason. Williamstown offensive coordinator Daniel Bogacheski. From New Mexico, the Storm allowed a total of 3 points in 5 district games and beat the state's top 2 teams en route to a state championship. Cleveland defensive coordinator Eddie Kilmer. From New York, his unit allowed fewer than 12 points per game and no play longer than 35 yards. 4 defensive backs went on to play post-high school. North Rockland defensive coordinator Joe Gizzi. From North Carolina, 8 state championships in 17 years, and they allowed a mere 155 yards and 9 points per game. Tarboro defensive coordinator Andrew Harding. From Oklahoma, how about scoring 47 points per game with depth, balance, explosiveness, and versatility? They stepped up in key moments late in the year to win a state championship. Bixby offensive coordinator Tyler Schneider. From Oregon, a fixture in his town since 1999 with a no-nonsense style. A back-to-back state champ, holding the opponent to 56 rushing yards in the championship game. Wilsonville defensive coordinator Ned Walls. From Pennsylvania, he's coached at his alma mater for 42 years, winning 366 games, 13 district titles, and a state championship. Over those 4 decades plus, he's coached all but one position. Cumberland Valley offensive line coach Craig Schweitzer. From South Carolina, you're looking at one of the state's most feared units, allowing under 15 points per game as the Yellow Jackets reach the semifinals for the first time in more than a decade. North Augusta defensive coordinator Kevin McIver. From Tennessee, he's produced 6 All-State defensive linemen, Big Ten and SEC talent, an Under Armour All-American, and the 2024 state championship was the first for a charter school in the state. Mace defensive line coach Christian Johnson. From Texas, the Pirates allowed a mere 14.9 points per game in a 13-1 year. Sinton defensive coordinator Steven Silva. From Virginia, his unheralded O-line with no scholarship athletes paved the way for 4,000 yards of offense. They're heralded now. Salem offensive line coach Adam Bry. From Washington, he's led O'Day's defense since 1994 and once engineered a season so memorable it's earned a nickname, Scoreless in Seattle. With 5 state championships, O'Day assistant coach Mike Crotty. From Wisconsin, nearly 4 decades on the sidelines. Even better, he spent the last 20 years working with his son. Congratulations on a well-earned retirement. DeForest offensive line coach Jeff Mack. And from Wyoming, with few returning starters and a total restructuring required, his unit allowed the second fewest rushing yards in the state, and 7 players earned postseason recognition as the Thunderbirds took home the championship. Cheyenne East defensive coordinator Steve Hesford. Let's hear it for this year's High School Broyles Award winners.
And will our Broyles Award winners, will you stand? One more big round of applause for this year's Broyles Award winners. So here comes the best part. While you're standing, stay standing, because here comes the best part of the night. It's the ring ceremony time. So here's what we're going to have you guys do. If you'll make your way towards this side of the room, my right, your left, and what we're going to do is we're going to line you up in alphabetical order by state, just like the video there. It's a daunting task. 33 coaches in alphabetical order. Somehow we still figure out how to do it. Every year I have full confidence we can do it this year. As we do that, by the way, I'm going to call up Matt Hall and Savannah Pate from Victory Rings, and Coach McGuire will bring you guys up and be in position here as well. So our host wives are going to help you all over here get lined up. Alabama to Wyoming on this side. And what you're going to do, coaches, by the way, once you're lined up, we'll have you come right across the stage, take a picture over here as you get your ring. And, Coach, these things are pretty cool, and I want to give you right away, by the way. This is from Victory Rings, a gift for Coach McGuire.
Coach, thanks for coming out, and we just wanted to honor you and give you one of these as a token of appreciation.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
So, Matt, let's open one of these here. Describe what these coaches are getting.
You can't really describe it, right? It's going to be a piece, and how this has kind of evolved is Clayton every year will say, hey, you know, we got to change it and we got to do something different. And so I think this is a pretty significant one. It's a nice piece, and you know, we just want something they can be proud of, that they go back and it honors the Broyles legacy, right, of the award, and it's just a testament to you guys and all the hard work, and when it's sitting out and they can wear it and something they can be proud of.
Coach, you know you can't use this for a Valentine's Day gift tomorrow, right?
No, but he's already sold me something. Molly showed some Arkansas A, and now we got a double T, and I don't know what it's going to cost me, but I'm in.
How are we doing over here? Are we good? All right. Now comes the most fun part of the night. So we're going to call you guys up one by one. So come a little bit closer to the stairs here. Are we ready? Coach, will have you take the picture right over here. Let's start representing Alabama. And we need a big round of applause for each of these. Here's Sean Tausma. Representing Arizona, Brett Darling. Representing Arkansas, Derek Davis. Our winner from Colorado, Gary Cruz. Our winner from Delaware, Rasan Matthews Sr. Representing Florida, Julius Harley. Representing Georgia, Michael Brown. Our Illinois winner, Derek Nelson. Our winner from Indiana, Michael Curtis. From Iowa, Mitch Wieland. From Kansas, Brian McCall.
Congratulations.
Our Kentucky winner, Bob Burnett.
Congratulations, Coach.
Let's hear it for Louisiana, Anthony Camp.
Congratulations, Coach.
From Michigan, Greg Hoagland.
Congratulations, Coach.
From Minnesota, Phil Trowbridge.
Congratulations.
Our winner from Mississippi, Tate Fisher.
Congratulations to you, Coach. Yeah.
From Missouri, Brian Van Howen.
Yeah.
Our winner from Montana, Jim Hogan.
Congratulations to you. Yeah.
Let's hear it for Nebraska, Jeff Bargan.
Congrats, Coach. Congratulations.
From New Jersey, Daniel Bogacheski.
Congratulations.
From New Mexico, Eddie Kilmer. Our winner from New York, Joe Gizzi.
Congratulations.
From North Carolina, Andrew Harding.
Congrats to you.
Our winner from Oklahoma, Tyler Schneider.
Congratulations to you.
Here from Oregon, congratulations, Ned Walls.
Congratulations to you. Yeah.
Representing Pennsylvania, Craig Schweitzer.
Congratulations, Coach.
From South Carolina, Kevin McIver.
Congratulations.
Representing Tennessee, Christian Johnson.
Congratulations.
Our winner from Texas, Steven Silva.
Congratulations to you.
From Virginia, Adam Bry.
Congrats to you, Coach.
Representing Washington, Mike Crotty.
Congratulations.
Our winner from Wisconsin, Jeff Mack.
Congratulations. Congrats on retirement, too, yeah.
And from Wyoming, Steve Hesford.
Congratulations.
One more time for our winners, for Coach McGuire, for victory rings. Let's hear it. Congratulations, our Broyles Award winners. So the party will continue after this. As you all know, we're not going to go anywhere. There will be an after party at Pop's Lounge. They're going to rope off a section for us. That is, if you haven't found it yet, through the casino to the left. There'll be an area for us. Enjoy it. I do want to mention one more thing. If you want to buy anything, there's a QR code on your table. or when you walk out of the event center, on your left, you'll see some of the swag for sale. There's a QR code there as well. So if you want to take home some keepsakes, great way to do that. I think we all know none of this would be possible without Clayton Harrell. Lots of you were able to meet him throughout the year, coming to events, which I think speaks to how hard he works tirelessly year-round to make this possible. So to close us out, here's the first family of the Broyles Award, Molly Harrell, and the Executive Director of the High School Broyles Award. Please welcome Clayton Harrell.
For the fun first, our Wicked Mix winner is Brandon Dean. Stand up, coach. Yes, all right. All right, your certificate is in the back, a year's supply of Wicked Mix. All right. So last night we got to talk a lot about how proud my grandpa would be of the College Broyles Award. But he would be so proud of the High School Broyles Award, and I want to make sure that we're talking about that tonight. He would be so proud of not only this class of winners, but every coach that's represented in this room tonight. And Mr. Matthews, I know your dad would be so proud too. And I hope that you know that this room is a part of your dad's legacy as well. And we're so glad to have you here. I want to echo what Coach McGuire said. The real heroes tonight are the wives. It takes a very special person to be a coach's wife, and it really is a beautiful representation of what partnership and servanthood looks like. So again, thank you to all of the wives in this room. We're glad that you're here. I know I speak on behalf of Field Turf and Oaklawn and what I'm about to say is, so many people have come up to us and said, thank you for this week, this experience, and we appreciate that, and really, thank you. Thank you for spending your time with us. Thank you for choosing to be here. Thank you for exactly what Coach McGuire said, for standing in the gap for this next generation of men. It means so much to us to get to honor you guys tonight. And I hope you know that from now on, you're part of the Broyles Award family. We're on your team. We're cheering for you. We're so proud of this class and proud of where the High School Broyles Award is tonight. Thank you very much.
All right, I told everybody 9 o'clock, so I've got 17 minutes, all right?
Long time.
Just kidding. Jeff Hildebrand left, so we're going to call him out on that because he was talking crap about me not being done before 9. So real quick, some housekeeping, and then we've got a special presentation, and then I'll close with some remarks. First of all, Wayne, man, thank you so much, and your staff. I mean, this, guys, I know Wayne said some things about Little Rock last night, but there is no comparison to Oaklawn. There's none. And so we're so grateful for the generosity of you guys being able to allow us to host all these coaches, and we don't have to go out anywhere. We can just stay right here. And so just appreciative of that, Wayne and your staff. Jamie, thank you so much for you and your team, Brandon. Brandon, when you and I had this conversation 6 years ago, Field Turf came to the first one, and then they said, we got to get more involved. And so we're so grateful, for hosting this dinner and allowing these coaches to be a part of it. Amanda, play on, go fan. Thank you so much. Amanda, you're over there, table 8. I didn't know where you were last year, but I made sure to know where you were tonight so that we could, go ahead, Amanda, raise your hand. So thank you so much. Matt Hall, Savannah Pate, thank you guys so much just for what you guys, these rings, it just is so special that these coaches, we try to get bigger and gaudy every year. And so I've got a box that shows the progression of rings. And you older guys that have won, I'm sorry. You know,
Talk to
Matt Hall if you want to get an upgrade. We can make sure we get that happening. Thomas with Box Out, thank you guys so much for allowing us to use graphics for social media and up here on the video board. Brad with Rockstar Passes is not here. Last year we did lanyards. We didn't know how it'd be received, and it was overwhelming, like, yes, thank you. And so that's more of like a keepsake. It's not going to get you in any private events or anything, but it's just something you say, hey, I was here. And then the other thing, I want to thank Glenn and Joe from THSCA. So I had this brilliant idea that we're going to do these pop-up banners. But I didn't have a knowledge of like, well, hey, they're all going to get on one bus. Let's just throw all those things on the bus. So when you get to the airport, it took 30 minutes to figure out whose pop-up banner was who. So you got a luggage tag on your backpack. So you're going to put those on your pop-up banner. So when you go into the bus and you load up tomorrow, you'll know which one is yours. So Joe, Glenn, thank you for that wonderful idea. We're always trying to get better.
Nobody's going to miss their flight now.
Nobody's going to miss their flight now. BSN Sports, Peter Cummo, Kaylee, thank you for, I know that you're here representing Peter and those guys, but the T-shirts, the bags, thank you guys for that, and the hats, and so just grateful for those sponsors. Speaking of the banners, so two things. One, the banners are yours to take home. Not that we don't love you and want to cherish, you know, seeing your faces, but we really don't want those anymore.
We don't have room for them.
We don't have room, and my kids are going to be like, who's that? Who's that? Really what we want your wives to do is during football season, put those things up in the living room so they remember, hey, yes, that is my husband. Yes, he may not be here for 6 months, but yes. In fact, we do have a former winner. I think that when he's gone, the banner is there in the living room. Amber Goolsby, I do remember that you did that. Thank you. And then real quick after, so we're going to do two things once I get done here in a few minutes. Bryant Haynes, the college winner, he's here tonight. He has agreed to take a picture with all of our high school winners. So we're going to do a quick picture. Wherever Alicia, wherever you guys think that that's the best location, we're going to do it. We're at just right here on the front of it. Okay, real quick, if everybody will come grab, Dwayne will take a quick picture. And then after that, if you'll take your ring, and if you'll go to your pop-up banner, okay, Dwayne's going to take a picture of you with your pop-up banner in the ring real quick. After that, you are then able to take your pop-up banner. So 2 pictures, Bryant Haynes and all of our high school winners, and then you'll go to your pop-up banner with your ring, take a quick picture. That way we've got it, and then we'll be able to go from there. Speaking of Bryant Haynes, Sheil Wood, man, you guys are rock stars. I mean, you know, your event was last night, but to be here tonight, I think that's a testament that one day when you're head coaches, you get it. You absolutely get it. And so, Sheil, I know that you didn't have to be here, and I know Joey's probably saying you had to be here, but listen, you came here on your own, and that's the story. We're sticking to it. So thank you guys so much for being here. You have good friends and you have close friends, and we've got 2 here tonight, Josh and Savannah. You guys have been fantastic for us, the commissioner. We love college football, high school football too, but we love college football, and there's not many people in the world that they love college football as much as we do. And so there was a moment this past year, you know, Molly's Pick 6. By the way, if you haven't signed up for that, you need to go sign up for Molly's Pick 6. We will send that info out. It's not a betting thing, even though we're at Oaklawn. Has nothing. We got shut down because they thought we were sending out bet ideas. That's not it. It's coaches behind a headset, stories.
On the Oaklawn app?
Yes, you can do that on the Oaklawn app. Wayne, there you go. But you guys, I mean, I think there was like 3 or 4 Saturdays in a row. We didn't plan it, but we were at the same college football game. And so we've just gotten to know them and just special friendship. So thank you guys. Two of the best. Right here. Mm-hmm. If you're not watching Josh Pate's show, you need to. Click and subscribe. Very easy. Doesn't cost you anything. And then the last one before we wrap up, we've got a dear friend with us tonight that has been with us doing this, hosting our speaker for 5 years. He picks them up. His wife couldn't be here. Their kids are sick. But Steve Jansky and Meredith Jansky have been unbelievable close friends of ours for the last 5 years and just helping us do this event. And so as a token of our appreciation for them, we've gotten him a ring and her a pendant. And so if you'll come on stage, we'd like to present that to you.
And for those of you who don't know, Coach Dansky, former coach, he's the athletic director at Fayetteville High, and so he gets the importance of this. He has helped grow this to where it is now, and we can't thank them enough for their friendship and how they helped this award. You know.
Before he takes his wife's pendant, I told your wives this morning, the pendant is the top of your ring. And so Matt Hall and Savannah Pate, they're here. So if you want to go ahead and place that order with them, coaches, I told it was about $300, correct? No, I'm just kidding. But they will be able to get that for you if you guys want a pendant, so of the ring. So, all right, 10 minutes. I'll be done before that. So, you know, it's so special when I look across this room right now. In 2019, we had 3 coaches. Casey Pierce, who's here tonight as a host, Doc Crawley from Boonville, and Bert Newton from Alabama. We're now in 42 states. And I remember sitting in Tony Salazar's office in 2021, and I said, I'm going to get to all 50. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to get to all 50. And it's been nothing short of just a blessing to be able to see this room quadruple in size. And our goal is to eventually have as many as the college. So maybe the high school will take precedence over the college at some point. And so the goal is we want to recognize all 50 states. That is our goal, because there are a ton of high school coaches who do not get the recognition that they deserve. And that's why you're here tonight. And I want to speak on that. Coach Broyles, you know, that's the reason we're here, is because of Coach Broyles. He was a visionary. He believed in excellence on and off the field. He believed in leadership, he believed in integrity, and he believed in the power of building up others to reach their full potential, as Coach McGuire said tonight as well. His commitment to teamwork, family, mentorship, it didn't just win championships, it created legacies. As you heard of the coaches that he coached that were on his staff that went on to win championships and Super Bowls. Each one of you here today, you are winners. Whether you want to believe it, whether you want to accept it, but 33 of you across this great nation, you are now part of the Broyles legacy. See, you embody what Coach Broyles stood for. You're the leaders on the sidelines. You're the leaders in the locker rooms. You are the ones who motivate, you inspire, and you lift others up to greatness. Not just by your words, not by your actions, because you make them believe in themselves. You may not believe that you're the best, but I'm here to tell you, unlike on the college side where we have media people who vote, nothing against the media people, Josh, they're great, we love that, but your peers voted for you. The coaches you coach against thought you were the best. So when you walk out of here today, don't think, man, I'm not deserving of this. I know as coaches that's just our humble nature of not wanting to accept it. But earn that tonight, wear it tonight, believe in it. We want you to carry Coach Broyles' philosophy that the best leaders don't just succeed themselves, they do help others succeed. As we reflect on this offer, we're so grateful for Coach McGuire. That chance meeting in a Bush Intercontinental Airport where I thought there's no way the Texas Tech head coach is flying commercial to Houston. And Molly saying, I think that's Joey McGuire over there, to where it's led today. We appreciate that and appreciate you and Debbie and the hospitality that you guys have presented to these high school coaches. When you leave here today, just know you're not representing your team or your state. You're carrying Coach Broyles' legacy. You're carrying the torch to those whose impact will never fade. And in doing so, you're building legacies of your own, and you will inspire generations to come. Thank you for embracing this honor with the same dedication and heart that Coach Broyles brought to every aspect of his life. Congratulations once again. May you always wear your ring with pride, purpose, and the promise of excellence. Thank you. Good night. Enjoy the tables. But first, let's take a quick picture of all the high school winners with Coach Haynes. And then if you will embark onto your pop-up banner, and then you guys can enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you again.